So what's this display?
This is my place, kind of a home farm part, hobby farm part, 200-acre hobby farm. If you consider
200-acre hobby
if
farm.
you consider that hobby, I don't think you do.
All right.
So this is our garden shed. We've got the Cub Cadet in there, John Deere lawnmower in there, and then we've got, this is another tractor I've restored, a 520 wide front John Deere Gasser tractor.
Nice.
So that'll be out going for a joyride at some point. And then we've got a little trailer right there. And then this car was the original farmer's car that was his pride and joy. He always kept that in that barn over there.
Nice.
So, and then let me move this out of the way. You can tell that there's something in there because the garage door's not all the way shut. So that car, that was my dad's first car. The first car that was fully enclosed. Fully enclosed, I should say. He had a Ford Model A Roadster, or car, touring car before that. But then he bought this Dodge. And
What year is that Dodge?
55 Dodge Royal Lancer. And it was originally blue, so I'm gonna get it painted blue, but my wife wanted it that color. But I'm gonna paint it blue, just like this blue, because I like that blue. And then you can't see it, but in there in the garage, the RV and my Chevy work vehicle.
It's a big garage.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. You can tell I didn't put gravel all the way back there because I can't reach back there. But there's no interior in the house. When you walk in, it's just grass and nothing. Push that car back in. It doesn't quite fit. And then we've got the trash can, the LP tank, and bush. And then we've got just the front yard. That's the main area where the kids play because we are back a lane. It probably comes from here back all the way up to here. Road's out here. Road's not even in the thing.
All right.
So, but it's pretty safe to play in the front yard. We don't have much backyard because I'm trying to farm as close as I can.
So the mom's out on the swing.
And then that's just sawdust as a sandbox.
There you go.
And then a tractor rim is a flower pot, green flower
Smart.
pot. Yep. Little tree.
Is that the garden in the back?
Yep. The sweet corn, or I should say popcorn.
Popcorn.
Popcorn back there.
What's that guy doing?
He's digging up potato plants,
Okay.
plants, and then we've got the 100 Farmall tractor on the little wagon. We already harvested the corn off. Pretty big ears, if you couldn't tell.
They're kind of big.
They're monstrous. They're as big as their head.
Yeah.
Bigger than their head, I should say.
Like as big as their body. So
Yeah.
that's not quite to scale.
Yeah, but that's what I've got.
No, it's good.
Yeah, and then my trailer with my ramps, those are actually old wagon sides, gravity wagon sides that I pulled off of the wagon. And my straight truck, and then
What
this
is that for a straight truck?
Chevy straight truck.
What
and
year?
then 78. It's got a 427 in it. Nice truck. And then this planter is an old parts planter. The markers weren't on it. It had some other issues, but I pulled all the row units because the row units were good. But the hitch had a crack in it, and it broke, so we had to re-weld it, but we didn't trust it, so we're just going to part it out. And so we saved the units off for my planter. I'll get to that in a minute. And then that's the wagon that I pulled the sides off. It's just a little 3D printed wagon. And then our corn picker that we've got are,
And what's in this?
and then we got the 8430 on the grain cart in there, and then this truck is going to be a project at some point. Okay, I'm going to fix this because this does not look right. And this guy's just literally just scratching his head and putting so much force into it against the wall. He was literally like this. Hold on. Like, really digging into that head, aren't you?
I guess.
And then fix that, make that look better. And then in here we've got a 730 tractor. It's gonna get redone, and then an A, which is it's got a original paint on it. Nice original paint. It's never been painted. Never.
Looks good.
It was always shed kept, never really weathered too much, taken care of. Skid loader, some parts along there, and parts along the shot shed or whatever. Can't speak this morning. And then we've got the grain bins, and then our half wing, or our centerfold disc. That's a John Deere double wing disc that I just took a wing off to try and make it look kind of like it. And then we've got this planter. It may not look original because it's not. It is, I don't have a representation because I traded it. I'll get to that in a minute. And then, so it's a 7200 12-row toy Ertl planter. So we cut the wings off, we cut the hitch down, cut the markers down, you can see where we cut them, and then glued them back on, and then we glued the hitch and glued those together, and we made a 6-row.
There you go.
And then it broke, and it wasn't together for probably 2 years. And then pulled it out, and I somehow had all the parts still around, so I figured might as well rebuild it. So you rebuild it. And in the shop part building, and then we've got the bean head, or the grain table for the 6600 in there, and then my flail mower, my big tractor, my 4960, that is a nice tractor. I need to do some touch-up paint work. If you can see on the hood, you can feel it. It feels rough.
Yeah.
So, no duals for it. I need to get custom tires put on it, and mirrors. And then we've got the units, planter units in there. Keep moving down for a second. I have to keep moving. And then a Spoker D, 24 Spoker D in there, and then a Farmall M. It's the one red tractor sitting in that barn.
Little M.
And then flail mower, and then a 30-20 68 power shift. And then a 530, which that tractor was bought. It was bought new by the family in 58, brand new in 58. And the neighbor had bought it, and they had it for a while, and then we bought it back, and we've got the tractor back. And then the 40-20, which my grandpa bought new in 64, it's a 64 power shift, 40-20, redone.
Nice.
In the shop, 4-wheeler and other stuff. So yeah, that's a.
It looks good.
Hanging in the meter box. Hold on. This doesn't need to be on there. This doesn't. So this is a display of a farm that we're cleaning up because there used to be just scrap of stuff just all the way out, all in here, and we've cleaned most of it up. So we've got a couple parts combines, a 8820 back there, no rear wheel assist, or no power rear. That's gonna be the next one to go. And then right now we're getting rid of a Gleaner G combine. Looks just like a 95 because it was a 95. I just painted it. And then this is another parts combine, 95, with the corn head. That one's gonna get redone at some point.
When was the 95 made?
50s. 50s and 60s. Up to 69, 68, 69. Because they came out with these in 69.
What is that?
6600.
So they jumped from a 95 to a 6600?
Well, they say that replaced the 105, the big machine.
Oh.
They say it did. They think it did. I don't think so. I think the 77 replaced it a little bit more. But I still think the 105 was a hog. I think it still outdid that, and that, boy, it truly outdid that.
So a 105 came after a 95?
They were built at the same time.
Oh.
But yes, they had these before they did the 105s.
And then they say the 6600 replaced the 105.
They say they did. They say.
You want to disagree?
Yes. See how the farmer has a Gleaner L3. This is an L. No, he's got a Gleaner G. Gleaner G. This is a G. So he's buying this off of me for parts. It's got just good enough rubber to get him 5 miles from here. So, and then these are all the parts that are gonna go with it. These tires and that stuff.
Do the trucks go with it?
No. Nope. No, they're just hauling the parts, and then we've got the shop, which it's very full. 6600. That 5020 was the Labor of Love. The Labor of Love.
That's the one in the front.
Yeah, the big pony. It looked. You couldn't tell where the green paint was on the tractor. There was no green paint left on the tractor. It looked worse than that. Very much so worse than that.
So the farm got that 5020.
They bought it new. It was the first tractor, diesel tractor, over 100 horsepower on the farm. And then that 720 is my baby. That's my baby that I love to death. That's also a labor of love. I got pride in that tractor.
So which one is you in there?
So this is the guy that's buying the combine,
Okay.
and we're just rummaging through to see if there's any other parts for the combine, because I'm
okay.
trying to get everything, all those junk cleaner parts that I don't need out of here.
And to help him out?
Yeah. So this looks like a sad thing to see, but so we're gonna take this. It's supposed to be a 3020. It's got 3010 panels on it for some odd reason. It really is a 3010, but I'm gonna call it a 3020. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take. I better set them down somewhere. So we're gonna take this rear end and this front end, and we're gonna put them together because we got a good front end. We're gonna put that narrow front on there because you can see that is smushed flat. So we're gonna take. So it broke back behind the split. So we're
Can
gonna
you hold it over here more? Like, there you go. Now I can actually see it.
So we're gonna split it right at the split point and scrap the junk behind it, and then we're gonna put that rear and put it with this, and put that little front end on here, and then that front end will just be parts and etc.
All the other stuff.
Yes, that tire fell off. But I had on
Still a work in progress, right?
it. Yeah, which it'll take some time, but we're gonna do it. If it's sitting in the shop bay, it's gonna get done at some point. And then we've got parts, etc. So that hood goes for that truck. It's not the right color to match, but we're going to work on that truck at some point. So that's a truck. That was the first truck that the original owner of this farm had ever bought. And it's still there, no frame. You have to get a frame. And I'll show you what's behind here. Not yet. So this motor is out of a wrecked semi, so there's just parts sitting in it.
Gotcha.
And then that was the original farmer's baby, that little John Deere M. And they had an 8-in Army Ford tractor,
Okay.
not a Jubilee.
Not a Jubilee.
And then back behind the barn, this is what we call the parts. This is what we call the outdoor parts room. So there's parts. Well, at some point going to get redone, 4020, and then some tractor hoods and stuff, and then there's some frames. This is from the semi. It snapped. So what our idea is we're going to try and build a hefty pickup truck out of a pickup truck at some point. So we're going to clean that back, just make it flat. We'll cut an outlet for an axle. We'll get a steering tie because these are just floating on their own.
Oh.
And then we'll make it a truck. And
There you
then we'll use some of the other frames back there. There's another snap frame. And then there's two tractor frames or tractor frames. One is completely stripped flat back there, and then this is what we call the parts dumpster. So we've got parts, tires, just etc. stuff, tires, stuff.
Right next to the hog bin. Hog
Hog
pen.
pen. Still waiting on trying to find an Erdl hog barn set. So anybody that has an Erdl hog barn set, we'll show a photo in the. We'll show a photo of it at the end of this video of what I'm looking for. So if anyone has this, please let me know. I will be going to buy it.
Okay.
So this is where they're temporarily at right now. And then there used to be a concrete silo, but we got rid of it, tore it down because we needed this space for parts. Because most of this stuff has been from crushed stuff that's been literally crushed. And got some fenders, fancy semi fenders. Those are gonna get sold. And then we've got feed grinder for the hogs, cultivator, planter,
What planter is that?
494A,
When was that made?
60s.
A 494A was made in the 60s.
Yes.
I like that style of planter, the
Yeah.
older look.
And then gravity wagon, the corn head for the parts combine, because that machine, it got drove in here. It ran when it came.
That one that's back there by the
Yes,
tree line.
that parts combine. Well, we're gonna try and fix it up at some point.
Hmm.
So maybe later when this display changes some more, you will see it redone.
Okay. Get it all fixed up.
Yes.
Looks good.
So it actually, I painted it up and stuff, and it actually sat outside. There's real dirt on there. It actually sat outside for a while.
You wanted some authenticity?
No, I just had it outside, so I guess
It looks authentic.
Yes.
There you go.
And then more stuff. That truck, we're gonna try and maybe put on that short frame that we just showed you.
Where's the Steiger's tires?
Ain't got them.
Why do you not have tires?
Well, there's the rear tires. And so yeah. Well, that's another project. It was painted. It sat. Never got finished. So yeah.
Looks
And
good.
then